Good afternoon, welcome to ИнстаФорекс TV channel. You are watching the weekly link up with me, Ekaterina Stikhina. As usual, we are going to discuss the ongoing situation in the Forex market. Besides, we will try to forecast further dynamics of popular trading instruments. Technical analyst Peter Yakimovic will give us his expert advice. This week, traders were sitting on the sidelines of the long-awaited US Fed's policy meeting. In a widely expected move, the rate-setting committee lifted the funds rate. However, investors were discouraged with the less hawkish rhetoric of the central bank. As a result, the US dollar is closing the week in a downward trend. Hi Peter, do you think traders will change sentiment on the euro-dollar pair since Monday?
Hello there, traders. I'm expecting a lower price in the euro versus US dollar. After the Fed interest rate decision and the raise in interest rate a few days ago, I found that we got a massive reaction. For example, EURUSD went about 120 pips higher, but the very next day, price actually found the sellers. I'm expecting lower price. I found a strong resistance line near the 1.0740. I found the upward trend line from different swings, which is, in my opinion, very, very solid resistance where the sellers may start to look for selling opportunities. So what were selling opportunities due to overextension in this upward leg after the news? And downward targets are set at 1.0605, like the first downward target. The second downward target is set at a price of 1.0540. Again, resistance 1.0740. If that resistance can hold also in the next days and so on, this may be a short-term swing high. But if the price, for example, go and try to go above or go above 1.0740, we may expect potential testing of 1.0800 just in case if the price breaks that strong resistance. Anyway, watch for selling opportunities on some retracement points, on the some after some corrections, upward corrections.
Traders were more sympathetic to the outcome of the Bank of England policy meeting. From your viewpoint, will the pound sterling be able to retain the interest of bulls next week?
I'm expecting lower price on the British pound versus US dollar, similar like on the euro dollar. The reason is there is a strong resistance at 1.2300 on the British pound versus US dollar. I basically forecasted last week that price should test this 1.2300, and that exactly happened. And after the news, price went there to test 1.2300, and then it found the sellers there, which is a good sign that we may see for a lower price in the British pound versus US dollar. The downward targets are set the price of 1.2135 and 1.2025. These are targets based on the price action, based on the demand zones in the background. So again, resistance 1.2300, the same thing like on the euro. If the price cannot go above 1.2300, then watch for selling opportunities. With the first target at 1.2135. In case the price go above this strong resistance 1.2300, the next upward target will be 1.2470. Anyway, watch for selling opportunities on the pullbacks.
Do you expect the US dollar to regain losses against the Japanese yen?
I'm expecting upward price on the USD versus Japanese yen. According to 4-hour time frame, I found bullish divergence, hidden bullish divergence on the moving average oscillator, which is a good sign that we may see that basically the price is oversold and the buyers actually can join the market. RSI, the foreign period RSI, is also oversold, went below 30 and then back to this to above 30, which is another good sign of potential strength. So good indication there is a hammer on the 4-hour time frame. The Bollinger Bands, the lower band of that Bollinger Bands is also successfully tested. And the upward targets are set the price based on the 4-hour time frame. Targets are set at 114.50 and 115.15. These are targets based on the 4-hour time frame, based on the price action according to the 4-hour time frame. So again, watch for buying opportunities. on the retracement with the first target at 114.50.
Speaking about commodity currencies, what is your outlook for the Australian dollar, for example?
I'm expecting a lower price on Australian dollar versus US dollar. There is a strong resistance at 0.7720. This is a cluster, the horizontal cluster there. A lot of supply came there in the background, so that is a very, very strong resistance. Also, the RSI foreign parity is overbought. It actually went above 80 and then back below the 80. So good signs and indicators showing the good signs, the oscillators, the resistance is there. In my opinion, you should look for additional selling opportunities. The first target is at the price of 0.7545 and the second downward target is at the price of 0.7490.
Thank you, Peter, for your valuable recommendations. See you next Friday. You watched the weekly link up on ИнстаФорекс TV channel. This edition has been presented by me, Ekaterina Stikhina, and technical expert Peter Yakimovic. We wish you gainful trading with ИнстаФорекс.